Hey guys, David back with another cryptocurrency update. I just wanted to do a video today about no matter what happens throughout history, throughout future history, one XRP is always going to be worth one XRP. Okay? The way that we determine the value of what an XRP is completely based in a fiat and fake system, okay? So there's a couple things that we're going to need to wrap our heads around in order to kind of grasp what I'm saying, okay? There's always going to be 100 billion XRP no matter what, okay? Now, just like in the gold and silver markets, there is always going to be 1 ounce of silver equals 1 ounce of silver. 1 ounce of gold will always equal 1 ounce of gold, okay? But the reason that we see price fluctuation, the price of the asset or the commodity is not fluctuating, okay? There has been gold and silver in existence for the last 5,000 years or millions of years, however you look at time and space, okay? Now, the difference is that the way we look at the valuation is based in our USD or in our euro or yen. We're actually looking at the valuation fluctuate based on the currency that we use to transact, not the commodity that we're looking at, okay? The commodity itself is a stable asset. Okay, I'm not talking about silver and gold. Those are stable assets. Those are fixed prices. Okay, the reason that we see those prices fluctuate is because of the manipulation. Okay, and the fact that they run the physical printing presses of the USD 24/7, 365. Okay, now I've got some notes written down here so you guys might see me glancing down, but 1964 to 1971 was the last years that the United States dollar was actually covered by a physical asset, okay? We were being taken out of the gold standard and the Bretton Woods Accord into what we are in today, which is like the oil standard, even though that's not something that's feasible to use as a way to back a currency. We can't actually have a bank account that we can go in and give them our paper dollars, and then they give us like a quart of oil in exchange for the valuation or the promissory note of that paper dollar. So all the physical dollars that we have in our possession now, they're just promissory notes. They're just like, they're just notes of IOUs, okay? But before 1964, gold and silver actually physically backed the paper that was being issued by the government. You could take in a $1 bill to your banking institution, to your Wells Fargo or your Bank of America, give that to them, and they would give you a physical silver coin, okay? I need you to grasp this, okay? So, as we head in to this, this ETF zone, I want you guys to understand that there's something that's the gold to silver ratio, okay? And normally the way the gold is priced in regards to silver is the rate in which it comes out of the ground, okay? Now, gold and silver come out of the ground in a ratio of about 9 to 1. For every 9 or 10 ounces of silver that come out of the ground, 1 ounce of gold comes out. Okay, so there's been like a floating historical number of 9 or 10 or 15 to 1 maximum. Okay, today as we sit, okay, and I've got it written down here, 10 to 15 has been an average historically. Okay, today we sit and it's 85 to 1. It will take you 85 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Okay, now you got to kind of ask yourself, what has transpired in that time frame? Okay, what's taken place since the ratio has been normalized at 10 to 15, has been changed to 85, which is an astronomical difference, right? We're going to definitely say that's a big change, okay? So now I think that the natural progression of this conversation is going to be to discuss what exactly an ETF or a paper contract is. You've got to understand what they are as we're all kind of hoping for them to get accepted, okay? Now, when gold and silver ETFs or electronically traded funds or paper contracts started to be issued, you can look at this number now, okay? Physical silver and gold, there's a specific number. We'll call it a circulating supply of physical silver, okay? There is a specific number of silver ounces that exists in the world, okay? Obviously, there's future mining and things like that that will adjust these numbers, but there's a physical number, okay? Just like there's a 100 billion XRP or 21 million Bitcoin, there's an actual physical number of ounces. I want you to take this into consideration as we start to think about what an ETF or contracts are going to do for this industry, okay? Each contract, at least in regards to traditional commodities investing or stock investing, a contract gives you the right to purchase 100 shares or pieces of this commodity or stock, okay? So in regards to gold and silver, these contracts give you the right to purchase 100 ounces of gold or silver, okay? And some of these contracts actually give you the right to physical possession. Okay, so the way that we're going to look at that is that there is a ratio of 200 paper contracts to each 1 ounce of silver that exists in the world, okay? Which means if we could quantify that back into XRP and Ripple terms, right? That would mean that if and when the ETFs and the paper contracts really got rolling, okay, now there would be an extreme valuation change in this process, I believe, to the upside. But what would end up happening is I believe that these backed and the Fidelities would end up taking control of the entire physical crypto space, because they're going to be offering contracts that outweigh the physical crypto market in a possibility of 200 to 1, which means for every 1 XRP that I own or that exists in the world, there could be 200 people with a contract that says they also have rights to own that XRP. That's the exact place that we're at with silver and gold right now, with the paper contracts completely outweighing the physical properties of the metal, meaning we don't have the amount of silver that they've sold contracts to. So if there's a run on the contracts, if at some point everybody actually wakes up and sells their contracts and exercises their right, or even sells their contract and takes that cash that they get from the contract without taking physical delivery and rolls that cash into the physical market, it would implode and explode the price all at the same time, because the physical contracts would basically have to vanish, because everybody would be running from the fake physical paper into the actual XRP or into the actual silver coin. Okay, you got to get it that that's the direction that this is going to go. 200 to 1, which means I did the calculation here. I think that would mean that it could be a maximum circulating supply of 2 trillion XRP just in contracts. Okay, that would mean that the powers that be have basically sold out from under the cryptocurrency market all of its valuation, because they've now basically turned it into something that it's not and that it never was intended to be, which is a controlled and completely manipulated currency and fund. Okay, so that's going to be something that we really have to watch out. And so it could be a possibility of 2 trillion XRP if it's, I think, 200 to 1. I don't know. That's a hard number to calculate. My calculator went crazy. It started giving me letters and 2000 E16. I mean, it is insane. Okay, with a possibility of contracts of 4.2 billion Bitcoin. Okay, think about that for a second. They could sell enough contracts to have leveraged out 2 billion or 2 trillion XRP and 4.2 billion Bitcoin. That's insane. Okay, I'm going to switch topics right now, because the way that I think that this is all going to change, and I've said this many times before, is we have to bring in more people then investors that are going to be trading on the backed side and the Fidelity side. And it's going to be really hard for us to do, but we basically have to fight as hard and as fast as all of these big time companies are gonna. And if you don't imagine that they are filling their bags right now as the prices are low and they're getting ready for the inevitable launches of all of their platforms and stuff that are coming really, really soon, okay? But I saw Tony today, he was talking about something on Thinking Crypto about tokenizing like an economy or an area, okay? And I started to kind of roll with this concept. What would happen if like a college campus completely tokenized their campus, okay? Meaning that everything that happens inside of their campus happens with a specific token. There could be some point in the future where the physical fiat paper dollars that we use to transact day-to-day business doesn't necessarily hold the weight and the validity that it does today, okay? It could completely change. So the thing that I want to look at is how XRP can help bridge that tokenization of an economy, meaning if I was going to be a visitor to that college campus, okay, and I didn't own any of the cryptocurrency that they issue, right? How would I get that? How would I get that cryptocurrency? Would there be an easy process of as soon as I enter a specific zone that my XRP could instantly be converted? Or would their system be running off the XRP ledger and the distributed ledger technology and actually function fully on and with XRP? But yet they create their own currency to coincide with the fact that they use XRP as a bridge, right? To connect everything. If you could imagine that each and every little college campus in your area would have its own currency that it would want to use within its own doors or in its own walls to keep track, inventory, for quality control, for whatever. I mean, there could be so many reasons that you would want to do this, but you would also want to be able to connect to your neighboring school or your neighboring business. So imagine it this way, that every business or every person or every entity that exists on a large scale has the opportunity to create their own token that exists and lives and breathes on the distributed ledger technology and fully functions and transfers value with XRP. This is going to be the future, okay? I'm not even kidding you. I honestly think this is going to be the direction we go. So look into what ETFs are. Learn what a paper contract is. And seriously look into manipulation, and you got to look into what the overprinting of the United States dollar and every dollar is and what it does, okay? Because I've said this I put my notes down. I said this in a few other videos, but the ultimate success rate of every single paper dollar that has ever been created is 100% failure rate. 100. Okay? I need you to try and let that sink in. No matter what the government does, no matter what the euro does, no matter what the British pound sterling does, there will be no ultimately saving it unless they change it in its entirety. Okay? They just literally are going to have to put the stop button on the printing presses and figure out how to change their system, because the system is broken. The currency cycles, busts and booms are so cyclical, and they happen every 8 years. The fact that it's 2000 and almost 19 and 2008 was the last crash that we had, it is a long time overdue. So you need to have a physical asset that you trust and believe in, if that's physical gold or silver, if that's cryptocurrency, whatever it is, get into it and know why you're in it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It seems to me that we're getting a lot of viewers that aren't subscribers, so I feel like that's a really amazing thing. I really do. I implore you guys to subscribe to my channel and to please share these videos with your friends and family, because every day we get smarter and every day we get closer to mass adoption. Okay? Definitely comment down below and start that conversation if you feel like it. And I hope you guys have a seriously blessed day. Thanks, guys.